is Simba, Elijah Charles Kiage. You're watching Metropole Television. A great thank you for joining us this morning. Good. Let's therefore lay background to whatever conversation that we're going to have right now. Now, the IMF has actually been concerned about the way in which most of the monies that come into Africa get used in the projects that they're actually supposed to get used into. Now, the World Bank has said African nations don't need to be scared about debt. That the only thing that they need to be scared therefore is the way in which they get a return on investments and the monies that they get into the country. This morning, I just want us to talk about aid and the way in which African nations, and especially Kenya, has used this aid. This morning, we are joined by Vitalice Meja, Executive Director, Reality of Aid Africa Network. Good morning, sir. Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. I just want us to get right into it, therefore. Just tell me something about the Reality of Aid Africa Network, and then after that we talk about aid into Africa.
Well, the Reality of Aid Africa Network is
Yes.
a pan-African network that works on development cooperation policies that with the objective of seeking to eradicate poverty through development cooperation policies. So
Yes.
we mostly focus on official development assistance and policies that inform aid flows in Africa.
Yes.
But also look at impact issues. Where are these resources being directed to or channeled to, and what impact are they having on livelihoods of people?
Yes.
Especially in Africa.
Yes. Someone would ask you therefore, and this is the main question
Yes.
that everybody asks, that aid is coming into Africa.
Yes.
But at the same time, what you're going to notice is that most African nations,
Yes.
their debt levels are spiraling out of control.
Yes.
And need more aid flowing into Africa. What do you think therefore that now we have high debt levels amid this aid that is coming in?
Well, they're both external and internal factors.
Yes.
The external factors is that first, for example, Kenya was declared a low middle income economy.
Yes.
And that reduces its chances of getting cheaper loans or concessional loans. So eventually they have to go into the market and get loans at a very higher rate.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes the debt servicing very expensive.
Yes.
And that's contributing to the current debt levels that we have. On the other hand, is also, like you correctly said, is where we are putting these investments, whether the investments are paying for themselves.
Yes.
Because when you get a loan, especially for business, the business is supposed to service itself. So, for example, let's take the example of the SGR.
Yes.
In Germany, moving for a distance of 400 kilometers using a train, you pay 10,000 Kenya shillings.
Mm-hmm.
In Kenya, you pay 3,000 Kenya shillings, going from here to Mombasa. You see the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that business is able to service itself, yet the Kenyan one is being subsidized.
Yes.
Being subsidized. So the government has to look for the other 7,000.
Yes.
Which, because the economy is not generating enough taxes, enough revenue, we are therefore left with a gap, and that's also contributing a lot. But I think also what we must realize is that aid is not free money. It has conditionalities. It has a lot of interest from the donors who are giving you the money. They
Yes.
want to see something out of it.
Yes.
The question we have to ask ourselves is when our governments accept this aid or loan, whether they understand those preconditions
Mm-hmm.
that the donors have put, and they are able to work around them so that it is indeed value for money for Kenyans or any other African for that.
Yes. So from where you sit this morning, because I know today you have an event that you're concluding, isn't it?
Yes.
I just want us to talk about that. How's it been exactly? What it is that you've been discussing? But just before we get there, therefore, from where you sit in therefore,
Yes.
how we realize the proper utilization of this aid, therefore, and if we have not realized, therefore, what are the civil society's role in actually making sure that nations and especially governments now do understand the perfect role of aid? And it's a good time we should be talking about this now, because now we're in a devolved government system where counties are actively seeking for this aid to actually help them grow up.
Yes.
Yes.
First, has never developed any country. It will never develop any country.
Isn't it interesting you should say that?
Those who develop the country are the citizens and
Yes.
the revenues and the taxes that they pay. So that should be the primary focus of the government,
Yes.
of making sure that they utilize well the domestic resources that we mobilize. And indeed, if we want to exercise that freedom, the independence that we claim we have to endeavor to exit from aid or aid dependency. Because remember, and I'll give you Kenyan example. By 2007, the donor budget, the donor contribution to the national budget was 5%. Right now it stands at 15.5%. You see the increment?
That's a big increment.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the point that you're trying to make. That look, Kenya has a potential to really exit from it because there's that experience. But the way in which we are carrying out our affairs, the
Yes.
way in which we are accumulating expensive
Yes.
loans is forcing us again to go back to depending on aid.
Yes.
So it's really high time that we examine where we want to go.
Yes, interesting you should say that really, because somebody will come and tell you that there's the other side of the coin as well.
Yeah.
That look, you want to grow faster. I mean, everybody does know that Kenya wants to be a medium economy,
Yeah.
income economy
Yeah.
by 2030. Now,
Yeah.
everyone will tell you this, before we get there, we need to move fast. We need to make things around here tick.
Yeah.
And that's why you cannot really, therefore, move aid away from an economy that really wants to grow that fast.
True, and,
Yes.
and indeed, aid provides you more space to do other things, to invest more in development.
Yes.
But in scenarios where you've been declared as a middle income country,
Yes.
chances of you getting aid get very small.
Mhm.
That's why you hear the government is focused on private sector, public-private partnerships, and
Yes.
all those, and going to the bond markets to get money from them. Because the options are now very limited because Kenya has been declared a middle income.
Yes.
So in that context, our only options is really to intensify domestic resource mobilization. That is how well we tax these rich companies and rich individuals in this country so they are able to pay their rightful share,
Yes.
to contribute to the government.
Yes.
There is no any other way. The other way that we have tried is to get the loans from China and the bond market, and you see where that is getting us. We are paying over $300 billion shillings every year, which amount that could pay another standard gauge railway if we were to retain that amount in here. So the thing that we need to really think about going forward is it's not really about wanting to go faster. It is being careful, being focused, and knowing that as a country, there are these needs that we have to achieve. How do we limit the wastage?
Yes.
And make sure that investments that we make are sound and fund themselves. And secondly, that development projects actually transform people's lives.
Yes.
Because you can't talk about economic growth when there's no increase in people's wealth or income.
Yes.
And that's the problem that you're having now. So you have higher debt, you're talking about 5% growth, economic growth, but people are telling you they're poor and businesses are closing. So it's really changing this narrative and saying, okay, here we are, we have this level of debt, let's pause on it first.
Yes.
Instead, what we are seeing is Parliament is busy changing the ceiling of
Mhm.
debt
The cap
ceiling.
is now up to
Yeah.
9 trillion shillings.
Yes, which is a big problem because
Yes.
right now we're already at what? At 5.8?
Yes.
5.8?
500, yes.
Yeah. Trillion.
Could be bigger. Could
Yeah,
be bigger.
it could be bigger. So there's a lot more that we don't know out
Yes.
there.
Yes.
So the point I'm trying to make is, as a country, we really have to say that this is enough,
Yes.
right? And we have made investments. Let's see how much they can bring us. Secondly, how do we then, look for cheaper money? So if we ask for aid, we want aid not to go to social areas, but start thinking on how do we want to improve capacity of farmers?
Yes.
How do we want to improve capacity in the ICT sector? How do we want to improve technical colleges or create hubs, technological hubs that can boost this economy?
Yes.
And we are not really providing strong leadership in that direction to the extent that the amount of there's that part of not providing strong leadership, but there is also the other of donors responding to that government leadership.
Yes.
And so they also have their own, of course, like I said, they also have their interests they're pursuing.
Mhm.
So they need to harmonize this so that there's a strong partnership on the one hand, but most importantly, there's really value for money, especially for the citizens.
Yes.
And going forward, I think that would be the right direction to go in terms of making sure that we stop further debt accumulation,
Mhm.
redirect our expenditure, not invest any more big projects, and ensure that really
The ones that we already had.
Those are
Give us something, then
yes.
after that we start to think on exactly how we can now sort of get something from our investments,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Exactly.
All right, I just want to therefore talk about the event that you're concluding today.
Yes.
And when Meja, when I listen to you, you say things that the government has already been told. I mean, everybody is outside there warning us about our debt levels. It's not a conversation that begins today,
Yeah.
and it's not going to end today as well.
Yeah.
Therefore, I want you to talk to me in this respect. There's an event that you're concluding today, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you see some of the policies, therefore, that you're coming up with and trying to push to the public domain and to the relevant agencies, therefore? Are they adopting them? Are they giving them a second look, or we're already there and we don't want to step back?
Well, 2 points. First is we really want this discussion
Yes.
to start taking place in the streets of Nairobi and all of Africa. That debt problem is a household problem as well. The moment you don't get medicine in the public hospitals, it becomes your problem. The moment the security of your neighbor, because
Yes.
there's people the youth are unemployed, is compromised, it becomes your problem.
Yes.
Because if the moment we direct more services, more money to debt servicing, we don't create jobs. That's the point. So we want a lot more of this discussion to take place among the population. But on the global side, I think we are putting a lot of pressure on the World Bank and the IMF because they came up with a formula that failed. They said that we are going to give you debt relief, even though Kenya did not benefit from that, but Tanzania did. And the debt relief did not take out the complete burden. It only relieved like a painkiller. It doesn't address the disease. It
Yes.
just takes
Yes.
the pain. It imitates that you're now right. But what we're trying to say is we want the international community to look at this carefully and know that if they are really serious about Africa's development, then we must have a permanent solution to the debt problem. And the permanent solution is to have total debt cancellation. That's the only way. But in the same context, there has to be checks and balances of transparency and accountability of African governments to their citizens.
Yes.
So it cannot be a clean slate where they can do anything they want, how Parliament just pass it and lift the ceiling for the governments to borrow all over the place. There has to be clear mechanisms where citizens have a say and have a voice on how much, to what extent, and
Yes.
for what.
Yes.
And we cannot be eliminated from this.
Yes.
And that's what we are trying to push, that one, citizen awareness, but secondly, the national community must take key responsibility in admitting that they are largely also responsible.
For exactly what's going on in the African nations right now.
Yeah.
So does it bother you, therefore, that since we started the year, therefore, and everybody was like, wow, Kenya doesn't need to go for another loan. I remember when we got to the 5.6 trillion mark, everybody was scared that we're going to cross over to the 6 trillion, which we have, let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
But it did bother you, therefore, that the World Bank actually did give us 75 billion shillings in loan again
Well, but
at the same time. But this is what they're saying, Meja.
But the point is, World Bank is a bank. They're in the business of giving loans,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
So you really can't blame them for thinking that.
Yes.
And remember, World Bank is not just here to give you money. They are also here to influence your policies. They are also here to change your institutions.
Yes.
Whether these institutions are reflecting the needs of Kenyans, that's another debate we need to have.
Are they open for total debt cancellation? I mean, what needs to happen for us to get to the level where we're achieving total debt cancellation for African nations?
It will have to be citizen pressure and supported by African governments' voice, strong voice.
Yes.
That's the only way.
Yes.
A World Bank, of course, is going to refuse any such suggestion, so is IMF. and all the donors.
Yes.
Because for them, this is their business interest. They're in the business of making money.
Yes.
And also it's not just money like I told, it's about controlling and dominating African countries through policies and through structure. So it's not as easy as some people think. Because yes, we got our political independence, economic independence, we're still struggling for it. And that's why you saw before multi-party democracy, what used to happen? There were structural reform adjustments. Those ones didn't stop, they're still going on.
Yes.
That's why we are still talking about privatizing education, universities. You see what we have now.
Yes.
You see the way we commercialized everything. You see what happened with the health sector. What is happening now? When we are trying to recover them, because we started generating our own revenues and we started investing in the health sector and things like that. But they are coming back again. You see water is being privatized all over the place. So the point I'm trying to make is that this is going to take a mind shift, but also a clear political strategy on the government side, but also the citizen side, putting pressure that the only solution to the debt problem, because part of them, like I said, part of this problem is not Africa. Remember in 2008 when there was economic crisis, Africa did cause economic crisis. And that caused the fall of commodity prices. So coffee was previously perhaps fetching $5, by 2008 had gone to $3. We use Forex to pay the debts. If we don't raise that money, there's a problem. So the point we are trying to make is, this is as much a global problem as it is a Kenyan problem. And we need to sit down and talk about finding sustainable solutions. What we have are paid relievers, which will not solve the problem. And that's what the meeting is trying to sort out.
Meja, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
I do know that you have an event to catch.